Coach Dylan here from Al Endurance Coaching. Today, we're talking about goal setting. We're going to talk about what a goal is, we're going to define it, and then we're going to walk through the steps of how to put together a reasonable goal that we can use to inform our training decisions for a training plan. So stick around, it's going to be lots of fun. All right, so I want to clearly state that for this goal setting session, kind of the ideas behind it that we're putting into this particular video, we're really focused on kind of those stepping stone goals, the little ones, not the big pie in the sky ones like, man, I want to get my Boston qualifier, I want to go to Kona, I want to make the Olympic trials. Those kind of goals are awesome. Those are the ones that motivate us to get out of bed in the morning and keep us excited. But this specifically is about these smaller stepping stones that we use as the building blocks to get to those pie in the sky goals. Now that we have that out of the way, let's back it up. First, we need to know what a goal is. So we've already stated that we're talking about these stepping stone goals, not the big pie in the sky ones. But a good goal needs to be clearly defined. It needs to be something we can measure, something we can be objective about. And the big reason is so that we can know if we have succeeded or failed. As a personal trainer and coach, I get all the time, man, I want to run faster, I want to lose weight, I want to look good, et cetera, et cetera. But you notice none of those are quantifiable. Well, we can't succeed in those because well, I want to lose weight. Okay, how much? I want to run faster. Okay, how much faster? Like, what's the time you want to run? Those are the kind of more clearly defined goals that we need for these stepping stone kind of projects. The second part of a clearly defined goal is it needs to be in a defined time frame. That way we get a little bit of a sense of urgency to complete the project. And two, so it's not just hanging out there nebulous in the future somewhere, we have a point at which we're going to measure at which we have succeeded or failed. So they need to be clearly defined. That way we can train for a certain amount of time, get our specific result we're looking for, determine if we have succeeded or failed, and then go back to the drawing board and reiterate the process again. I want to win, or I want to be in the top 5 or 10, or I want to run a sub 25K is one I hear quite a bit. And so those are all good, clearly defined goals if we stick it on a particular race date. Because then we can use that with a defined chunk of time to plan out a training block so that we can hopefully be at a specified level of fitness on a given date. Now, I don't normally encourage people to think too hard about getting too wrapped up with that race date. A lot of us think of tests as either pass or fail. And it's real easy to think of races in the same way, like I either succeeded or failed, and then, defines my character and says something about my personality and my intestinal fortitude, and that's not what it's about. A test just measures how well you're doing something so you can make a better informed decision about how to keep training moving forward. But that's a whole nother topic. So getting back to goals. I'm going to use myself as an example today. Coming off Boston, finally starting to get healed up in my calf, my foot, starting to get some quicker runs in again. And so we're starting to kind of think about, okay, I think I can race. I'm going to run some 5Ks. I've kind of got my big picture goal for the next couple of years in my head of what I want to achieve. And the first step of that is seeing how fast my 5K time can be. Notice, that is not a good goal. It's not clearly defined. It's not a number. I can't tell if I've succeeded or failed. It doesn't give me a specific time frame to work with, but it's the concept that I'm going to use to feed these stepping stone goals. And so I signed up for the Firecracker 5K over in Shreveport. I know the course. It's a good run. There's enough fast guys to kind of pull someone along to a good time. And I know the time I finished it in last year. Granted, last year I was probably in better shape, but I was unfamiliar with the course. But that being said, like I have something to work with. And I know where my own strengths and weaknesses are as a runner. So I can put that into my training plan to account for those. So we've defined our time frame between now, which is May 16th, and July 4th. So it gives me roughly a month and a half. A quantifiable outcome. I want to run sub 17. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm coming off several months of not really a ton of great training, but I ran 1650 something there last year, right around 17 flat, I believe. And I'm pretty sure I can do it again, given that I'm familiar with the course and I'm actually going to be training for it instead of just going to run for it. But it'll be challenging. Like I'm going to have to actually get up and go do more morning workouts before it gets hot so I can do the hard workouts. And that's another reason to have a good goal. It can help keep you motivated to actually get up and do the work. If it's too big of a goal, it's too far to stretch, and it scares you too much, and you don't believe it's achievable, you're going to back out on some of the workouts. You're not actually going to get done. If it's too easy, then you're going to go, I can skip this workout. I got it. It's not a big deal. And so a good goal is kind of in that sweet spot where it's challenging, but doable. And it's challenging enough that you're excited, but you know you got to do the work to do it. But it's challenging, and it's challenging enough that you know you need to get out and actually do the work. And so finding that sweet spot is different for everybody. But for myself, for this particular race, for this particular time goal and time frame, I think it's doable. I think it's in that sweet spot, given my own personal history. So where are we starting at? So starting point for training. The best way to do this is to use a recent race of a similar distance. Barring that, we're probably going to be using like a recent hard effort, a time trial practice, a training run, something like that. Now, granted, a 3:05 marathon, which is what I ran in Boston on a hot day, is definitely not the same par as a sub 17 5K on this particular course for July 4th, I think, in Shreveport. So I've got to do some work. I'm not quite in 5K shape. My general overall fitness isn't quite on par, but it's doable, I think. And so knowing what my weaknesses are going into the training block, I know I have some fast twitch turnover. Like I got some of the natural spring. I have a lot of natural spring in my calves and my feet, which is part of the root underlying cause of why my foot was hurt this winter. But that natural tension is there. I know I have that quickness and turnover. I know I'm decent at going uphill, which this course, the first half is uphill and the second half come back down the hill. So I know I have some of that good hill climbing ability, but it's something I'm going to have to work on because I haven't done a lot of it in a while. But I felt good on the hills in Boston, so I'm confident. So how are we going to do this? We can't really change anything about the weather. It's probably going to be hot and humid 4th of July in Shreveport, Louisiana. I can't do anything about that, but I am going to make sure I get some of my workouts in the heat and the humidity. That way my body is used to working hard in those conditions. Not all of them, but some of them. Especially in the last 2 weeks before the race, that's when I'm going to trying to work in some of that acclimatization work. The weak link in the chain for me is going to be my ability to buffer my blood pH, my ability to work hard for 17 minutes. I can hold threshold pace all day. I can work with my heart rate at 170, 175 beats per minute for a while, much longer than 5K. So instead, I need to work on being able to operate at higher intensity levels for a shorter period of time. So that means I'm going to be doing some shorter, harder intervals. I'm going to be doing 400-meter repeats. I'm going to be doing hill repeats. I'm going to be working that VO2 max. That's the weak link in the chain for this particular goal, for this particular race. The other thing I need to work on is some leg turnover. So I need to work on some neuromuscular fitness. I know that. So we're going to be doing plenty of striders. And again, some of those shorter intervals, 200s and 400s, getting the leg turnover going. So we know the course profile. So we're going to work in some hill repeats because we know it's the front half of the race is all uphill. We're also going to work on our downhill running. A lot of people, and I saw a lot of folks like this at Boston, not strong downhill runners. We have a tendency to get our foot a little too far out in front of us and brake a little too much on the downhill instead of letting the wheels fly and being able to actually push while still running downhill. So that's kind of like the general starting point that we got. We have a defined date, July 4th. We have a defined course. We know it's hilly, but they're long, gradual hills, not short, steep ones. So that means we're going to need some extended, hard efforts to be able to push up the whole distance. We're going to need to work on some leg turnover so we can race coming down the hill. We got to get that leg turnover rate and be able to work going downhill, not just try to hang on. Last year I was outkicked. I think he was a high school kid, not positive. But man, he didn't want to lose. So I was right on his shoulder for the last 300 meters, and I just didn't have the leg speed to pass him. We were moving at the same speed, but he just had just a little more oomph than me, and he got me coming down the downhill with some a little more turnover, and I caught him on the flat, but I couldn't pass him because I had to work a little too hard, in the 200 meters before that. So we need to work on our downhill running and our leg turnover so we have that finishing kick. And that's always been a weak point of mine ever since I was in middle school. I can grind someone. I can grind with the best of them. But that finishing kick has always been a weak part of mine, despite having, that pop in the calves. So we're going to spend some time working on that. So yeah, that's kind of the nuts and bolts, kind of what we got going into designing the training block. I haven't put it down on paper yet. I've started to put some stuff in. I know I'm going to spend some time in the weight room developing some of that muscular power and neuromuscular coordination. We're going to be doing some drills. We're going to spend some time in the pool. We're going to spend some time swimming in the pool, working on making sure that calf doesn't get over tight again like it did training for Boston. A little bit of compression, a little on the recovery days. We're going to swim. Then it's never hurts to get a little bit of cross training in, work on my swim technique a little bit, so I'm being a little more efficient in the water, and I'm a little better at coaching the triathletes that I coach as well. You got to practice what you preach. So that's kind of where we're at now. If you have any goals that you want help with, get in touch. I'd love to hear what your goals are. Leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time a video comes up. We're trying to get them out every week. Now the tornado cleanup is done. We have internet at the house. We should be able to get internet. We have internet again. It's nice. But we should be able to get the videos out once a week again. And it'll be exciting. Kind of see how summer works with this, with my daughter being home a lot more, and how much that interacts with my ability to get work done. But stay tuned. It's going to be a fun summer. I'll keep you updated with the training as we get ready for the 4th of July 5K over in Shreveport. And then when we get done, we'll evaluate, if we succeeded or failed, and if we did or didn't, why and why not. And then we'll use that to inform the next training goal moving in, which will probably be chili pepper in Fayetteville. If you are within driving distance of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you've never been to chili pepper, go. It's awesome. It's going to be at the beginning of October this year. It's fast. It's awesome. There's high school, middle school, collegiate races, open races. It is amazing. It's my favorite cross-country race ever. So that'll probably be the fall goal. We'll be running a fast race there. So until next time, stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled on the blog, and keep your eyes peeled here because we'll have more content coming out. And remember, until next time, train smart.